What's up, guys? Raziel here again, and here's part 2 of my video. If you haven't seen part 1, it's fine, but this video, with Shadowlands just a week away, is for returning and new players, a quick guide to what you need to know about the systems and the changes going into Shadowlands that are not currently in the game yet, you can't experience. So, you know, let's just stop fucking around, and let's do the drop, and get talking about it.
I am Raziel.
Okay, guys, now before I catch shit in the comments about my t-shirt, it says, oh, what's that, Raz, you fucking nerd, you LARP? No, I don't LARP. I have in the past, but this shirt is actually from a feature film that never got made that I was a part of. So, suck my Anyway. Let's move on. Here I am on the Shadowlands beta trying to get you the best information, the most current information. I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of giant changes in terms of what's going to happen with beta other than balance. Entire systems aren't going to get changed. We're literally 9 days away from launch of Shadowlands. So let's just, you know, assume that things are about as close as they're going to get. The first thing I wanted to talk about here is I want to talk about covenants and their sanctums. Now, I'm gonna make this guide as quick as possible so I don't waste your or my time. And keep in mind, the first thing actually before even that we need to remember about the launch coming up soon is be prepared to wait in a fucking queue, because you're gonna wait in a queue and you're probably not gonna get to play at all the first night.
Well, that's what cocaine is for. It'll wake you right up. Oh yeah, yeah.
But no, really. Also, keep in mind, I plan on doing a stream before, like leading up to the launch. Last one we had before Final Fantasy's expansion was a lot of fun playing Chrono Trigger. Who knows what we'll play this time? We'll see as we're waiting for the launch of Shadowlands. So come the night before, I'll be up on Twitch. Come check it out, have some fun, hang out, bring some alcohol or Coke. And anyway, all right, enough bullshit. Let's get talking. So, covenants, I'm sure a lot of people have heard of. Now, essentially what a covenant is you're going to go through all the covenant storylines. There are 4 of them. There's Maldraxxus. I'm not going to name them all. I'm sure you know what they are. Actually, fuck it. I'm going to name them all. So, there is Bastion, which is Kyrian. There's Maldraxxus Zone, which is the Necrolords. There's Ardenweald, which is Night Fae. And then there's Ravendreth, which is Venthyr. Those are the 4 main zones of Shadowlands, not counting them all. We'll get to that later. And also thus the corresponding covenants. Now, when you're in part of your covenant, as you can see here with mine, I am currently Venthyr on the beta. It's what I plan on being for the launch with my main character anyway. Now, what abilities you get, one of the abilities you get is dependent on your class. So that ability is going to change for the covenant depending on your class. So for Death Knights, for example, I get Swarming Mist, while everybody who joins Venthyr gets Door of Shadows. But there's 2 abilities, and one of them is unique depending on what class you are when you join. I will have a list of everything, all the spells and possible combinations in the description below, so you can look through it. I'm not going to read it all, but my advice to you is to pick what you like the most and is most interesting to you. I'm a pretty huge anti-meta kind of guy, so fuck the meta. Don't worry too much about it. Pick what you think looks cool and what's going to be best for you. I mean, if you're a min-maxer, then yeah, pick what's the best of the best. But the reason why I say don't go that direction out of the gate is because more balancing is happening and will continue to happen throughout the expansion, so it's not good to gauge everything that way. It should be Blizzard's job to make sure everything is still achievable and possible regardless of what class combination you are in both PvE and PvP. I know, fat chance Blizzard's actually able to pull that off, but hey, we'll fucking see. The next thing I wanted to, and I'll show you this here. So I've done covenants, and this is their sanctum. This is the sanctum for the Venthyr here. And there's a couple things within this that you need to be aware of. First and foremost, a lot of people are talking about this, and this is one of the biggest systems one of the biggest systems in the game right now. One of the biggest things people have been complaining about, which is your soul binds and your conduits that way. Now, how that works, once you get into your sanctum and you pick, you've chosen, and again, you're not gonna have to pick, you don't have to pick which one you want to stick with permanently until you reach level cap, and then even then it's not permanent. You can change to another sanctum if you want to at any time. The only pain in the ass comes when you want to switch back to one you have left, and it's a much harder process, but it can still be done. But still, make your choice wisely so you don't have to go through that. Now, essentially, this new tree system, how it works, as you can see on my screen here, you earn these conduits, and these can be crafted. These can be picked up. They're looted from bosses in both raids. You can get them as PvP rewards, I'm sure. They're all over the place. So what you do is you socket them in. And Blizzard's final iteration of this, you socket, you can fill all these sockets. Once you have picked one up, it's permanently there. It's like a stash. You always have it. You don't have to. The only time you have to re-farm, as you can see, these conduits are item level 145. I'm sure as more content gets released later on, and new raid tiers and all that stuff, you'll be able to farm a higher item level version of these same conduits, which will replace these in here. So you only need to find each item level of each conduit one time. Once you have it forever. Then you socket them into their corresponding spots, and here you can see you can change which path you're taking anytime you're in your base here. You can change, so you're not permanently stuck that way. You can change around, and it's fine, right? You don't use anything up. However, let's say that you want to use your let's say you want to completely change what's socketed in one of these. You can do that as well, but you have charges here, conduit energy, and you can, each one of these, when you use one of these orbs, it has a 16-hour cooldown. So not quite a whole day, but so you could spend them all at once and have to wait a while to be able to do anything again, or if you just want to fiddle around, it's pretty free, and Blizzard's made quite a huge compromise in making things work out this way. So now, what is an actual soul bind? As you can see, you switch between these, and they have different abilities and different paths and different trees to go down, and you can activate different soul binds. Activating a soul bind you can do, there's no limit on how often you can do this. You can change your soul bind whenever. So there's DPS and utility and other routes you can go, tanking routes. So you can just switch those around. Really, your only big restriction on conduits and your covenant of choice is if you leave one and want to go back, and you're limited on how often you can change the actual sockets here. Okay, so Blizzard's come quite a long way with it. I think this iteration is probably going to work out pretty good, and we'll just see if they can keep it balanced. Moving on, let's talk about Anima. All right. So Anima is a resource you get for your Covenant, doing various things, world quests, doing the campaign for your Covenant, all kinds of things like that. You can continuously earn Anima. Where you actually spend Anima, I will show you here, is to actually level up your Sanctum. So with Anima, you deposit Anima there, and you slowly level up these different nodes, which, as you can see here, buffs your Covenant's ability, cooldowns, things like that. But a lot of it's very specific. These bonuses you get are very specific to your mission table and to the actual things you can do in your Sanctum itself, and aren't as unique and important for, let's say, your raid scene or how powerful you are in PvP. Anima you use there. In addition, let me show you this. You can use your Anima to unlock certain bases, certain things to do. So your world quest is quite a bit different. If you're not familiar with Legion, if you didn't play in Legion or BFA, or even if you did, there were what was the world quest is known as Emissary Quests that you would do. See, with Anima here, you can use your Anima flow. You can spend Anima to decide which part of the map you want to farm for that day. As you can see, the world quests here are locked, so you would decide, oh, what do I want to do? What section do I want to do? And let's say I pick, oh, I want this, and it'll tell you even here, access to special treasure, daily quests, fight an enemy champion. So it'll tell you what you're going to get by unlocking, what's going to unlock in that zone. So if I pick that, it's going to go there. Okay, and now I can only do this once a day, and I'm channeling Anima there, right? As you can see, the Anima is going up, and it's starting to channel. So Anima is very, very much focused around what you're doing in your Sanctum itself, much in the same way in Legion, you did things and got resources to level up your class base. Now, if you'll notice up here, here is where you can check, change your soulbind when you're not in your actual zone. Next, we're going to talk about Renown. I'll get to that in a second. But instead of Emissary Quests, you'll see here you have your callings. And your callings are like Emissary Quests that you can do. These will reset one a day. And you can do these. These are kind of the same as Emissary, but they're more specific to your actual chosen covenant. So I wanted to show you one more quick thing. The mission table is back, and again, this is going to be a way you get anima and a way you can actually spend some anima. But it's a little more intuitive, I guess. They said they wanted to change it to where it was more of a game, but I don't really see that. So if you get companions here, right, you get companions, you unlock them through the quest and through the storyline of the game, as usual. You spend anima to send them on missions. I mean, you can find things like anima there, experience for followers, you can get gear, you can get, you know, different things like that. I've seen weapons in here and things like that. So it's a way to get gear, but to be honest, it's really not that different from the way mission tables have always been in the past. Nothing really special there. So now let's talk about Renown. Now, the Renown system is yet another thing that's directly tied to your Covenant. In the beta, you're given all Renown, so you can just see what it is. You get Renown by doing your Covenant quest, by doing your special event. Every single Covenant has its own very unique special event type thing you can do to get more Renown. Renown ultimately earns you cosmetic rewards like the gear that you see my character wearing right now, which is all transmog. Your mounts, your Covenant mounts are all unlocked through Renown titles and additional champions for your mission table. So not something that's going to, you know, if you look through here, really boost your ability or your power in PvE or PvP. You're going to unlock some world quests here, so you do get a slight edge in some activities, but again, just go at your own pace. Don't worry about it. You know, trying to get Renown capped as soon as possible, because it's not going to give you that big of an increase. All right, so you see the Renown there, and again, you can look at it here to see what's really going on. And Renown can be gained, like I said, just by playing the game straight up. Now, the next thing I want to talk about, and this is something a lot of people have been talking about, and has been balanced a lot recently, are the Maw, the Tower Torghast, and Legendaries. So let's talk about that. So a quick rundown of the Maw. The Maw is a zone you can go into. I believe it's once a day right now is how you can eventually go in there, and if you do too many activities, you do too many things there, the jailer is going to take notice of you and kick you out. There's a lot of stuff you can get there in terms of crafting materials. To be honest, I haven't delved too much into the Maw because I don't want to spoil it for me. Again, I'm very lenient with myself when I play betas because I don't want to, you know, fuck my enjoyment before I've even got a chance to play the game. But I did go in there and check it out. It's an area that you can't be in all the time. But part of the Maw is you unlock a storyline that will ultimately let you enter the Tower of Torghast. When you're in Torghast, you can either go in as a group or you can go in by yourself, and essentially you work your way up through an endless dungeon of floors. They always get harder, but at the end of every floor you can pick a special ability, so by the end you can get pretty fucking goddamn OP, where you're just destroying everything very easily if you made the right choices to get up. Now, the whole reason to do Torghast is, you know, obviously to get all kinds of materials and everything, but one of the best main legendary materials drops, which you need in order to craft a legendary, and which is rune carving. Now, soul ash is what is the material you're going to be farming from Torghast every week to make your own legendaries, and we'll talk about this in a minute, but this is also where things like crafting comes into play. So as you can see here, I have some crafted items. So if I put boots there to craft a legendary, so there's just blank boots that were crafted by me. Since I'm a blacksmith, I can craft these, and they're just blank boots with no stats. Then I pick the legendary effect. Now, legendary powers are gained from raid bosses. You can find them from drops. I don't know if you can craft them yet. Again, I try not to spoil myself too much, but there's multiple avenues to learn these legendary powers. And then let's say I want to pick one, right? So I want to pick Brandor's Might, so I'm going to pick that. Then I'll also have to have these scrolls available to put what I want. So haste, versatility, right? I'm gonna put that on there. And then I don't have enough soul ash. Luckily for us, in the beta, we can max ourselves out on soul ash, I believe. But I'm not gonna spoil the animation and everything he does, but you would craft a legendary that way. As you can see, I have crafted a couple of legendaries already. I think I'm wearing one. Yeah, there. So I crafted one, and these can continuously be leveled up as well. So once you create one, you know, later on there'll be a way to level up ones you've already created. You don't need to recreate them every time, you know, their item level gets boosted through a patch or something like that. So essentially, you want to do Torghast, and the amount you'll have to do Torghast to cap each week, so you can make your first legendary, which I think will take 2 weeks to make after launch, is not that much, but you can continuously farm it to get more rewards, and eventually when you hit the reward cap, there's going to be people farming it just for prestige of beating a certain amount of levels and getting that kind of shit. Not my jam, but if it's yours, right on. All right, now I want to talk about PvP. Because this is something that a lot of people were concerned about because how PvP gearing was working out, and they've made quite a few strides in PvP. So if you may or may not know, the PvP gear is back, as in it's from a vendor now, as opposed to just a random reward that you get, like it's been in Legion and like it was in BFA. So let me hurry and run my ass over to where the PvP vendor is, and then I'll show you that. All right, PvP. So PvP is still in existence in the same way that it was for years. There's Arena, there's Battlegrounds, there's Rated Battlegrounds, but they've added quite a few things back in the game that was taken out. First of all, you have daily PvP quests you can do for Honor and Conquest. Now you can spend Honor and Conquest on gear and to upgrade gear. So for example here, I can actually upgrade, you know, use Honor to upgrade this sword. As you can see, I don't have enough Honor right now. Luckily, on the PTR, unless they took them out, you can request lots of Honor. Yeah, here we go. Actually, no, you can't anymore. They took it out. All right, that's fine. But you can upgrade your gear up to a maximum right now of rank 7, which is just around normal raid level. Not heroic, but normal raid level. And this is just for Honor gear. Obviously, as you get higher, the gear you get for your Conquest points, so rated is higher. You have higher stuff that way. Higher item level stuff that way. Keep in mind also that they have removed the PvP talents for a PvP trinket. That is a trinket you have to buy once again and equip. But you can upgrade Honor and Conquest gear now and earn it through vendors that way. So in my opinion, that's a huge improvement. And also, if you want BIS in terms of like the actual absolute stacking the best stats for whatever class you're playing, you're gonna have to do a little bit of both, a little bit of PvP and PvP. I'm still torn. PvE and PvP. I'm torn if I like that or not, but hey, it's getting people to experience more of the game might ultimately be a good thing. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is why we're here is professions. As I said before, you're going to need professions in order to craft legendaries. The base item you need to even have legendaries gear has to be crafted, so you can buy it from somebody, or you can after they've crafted it, or you can craft it yourself. Also, a lot of things have come back to the game, so there's a lot more inscriptions, there's a lot more enchants on different items. There's every profession has a lot of stuff that's useful. There's the leather stam kits again, all kinds of stuff. So make sure I'll put a link to the profession changes into the description below as well, so you can look over them, as it's too much to go over here. But all the professions have become far, far, far more relevant than they've been for a long time. The final thing I want to talk about, since we've talked about pretty much everything else that you need to know going into Shadowlands, is I want to talk about your weekly vault. So if you're unfamiliar, if you haven't played for a long time, in Legion and in BFA, when you completed your weekly level 15 Mythic Plus dungeon, at the end of the week, you would, essentially enter a Vegas style roulette on if you got a piece of fucking gear that was actually of any use to you. It would be a high item level, but I would say 8 times out of 10, you were getting something that was just a huge piece of shit that you didn't care about. That has all changed with the weekly vault, and I'll show you that. So the Great Vault is the change, a huge change to how weekly rewards are in World of Warcraft Shadowlands. So if you look here, when I open it, you're going to get 3 options to choose from if you completed raids. So as you can see, this one unlocks if you defeat 3 raid bosses, 7, 10. So obviously as it goes up, you're probably going to get better rewards. Mythic Dungeons, level 1 Keystone, 4, 10. PvP, 125 conquest points, 350, 875. And let's say you do all these. At the beginning of next week, you'll be able to pick just one, not from each row, just one total. But it's going to give you a lot more control over getting a piece of gear that you actually give a shit about from actually an activity that you wanted to earn it through. So if you hate Mythic Plus Dungeons, you never have to do them. If you hate PvP, you never have to do it. If you hate raiding, you never have to do it. Obviously, if you do it, you're going to have more chances, but it's not going to completely limit you. So you can, if you just want to do one thing, one row, fucking do it. But yeah, so that's a huge change there as well, and one that I'm really looking forward to seeing in action. Again, I haven't done it in the beta myself because I'm trying not to spoil things for myself. Whew. All right, so guys, that was my quick guide to systems you need to know about going into Shadowlands. If you haven't paid a lot of attention, or if you're a new or returning player to World of Warcraft, this will kind of give you an idea without feeling too overwhelmed, just the basic rundown of the new systems that are going into Shadowlands, and to kind of keep in mind some of the choices you made. Don't worry. All the information you need about the stuff I talked about will be in the description for the Wildheads link, so you can look over stuff there. And don't forget also, my Twitch is up on the screen now over there somewhere. But you can come join me the night before it releases, and we'll play some fucking video games, have some drinks, and have a generally good time. But anyway, guys, this has been Razia. Leave your comments and thoughts down below. Are you excited for Shadowlands? Are you not? You're not even play it? You want me to go fuck myself? That's fine. Whatever. Go fuck yourself. And as always, my friends, keep it real.